Hi, this is Maria from Crochet A to Z, and welcome to the channel. If you haven't subscribed yet, please push that subscribe button, and please also push that like button because it does help get the algorithms out there so everyone can find this channel. So today I want to thank you for being here. I want to thank everyone for being here, and I also want to say Happy New Week. So today I want to show you this great block. This is, you might want to call it a block, you want to call it a square. This is beautiful. The texture is beautiful. It's, I would say it's a medium texture. And it's really, really a beautiful stitch, and it's so easy to make, and I'm going to show you how. Now, I'm saying this is block. This is block number 23, or square number 23, whatever you want to call it. If you haven't started these blocks yet, it's not too late to start. You can catch up with us because you can make 3 or 4 of these in a day. You can make a lot of them in a week, so you can catch up. If you just want to pick and choose the blocks that you want to make for your Afghan baby blanket, whatever you want to make, scarf, you can do that as well. Just want to mention this is a block, but you can make this as a full Afghan and not make the blocks. This stitch is gorgeous. And I'm going to show you just how easy it is to make. Now, with all the blocks that I've made, I am using an eye hook. So I just want to mention that. And for all of the blocks, you want to use the same hook. You want to use the same weight yarn. This is a Premier yarn. This one, it's the Premier Anti-Pilling yarn. And this is called, the color, it's called Steel. I am going to be using, for the block that I'm doing for this tutorial, I'm going to be using a Lion brand yarn. So let's get started. Why don't we? Let's just get started. So first what we're going to do is we're going to make a slip knot. I go slow, you can follow along, you can write it down, whatever you choose to do. So once we make our slip knot, I'm going to chain 32. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, and 32. These are your chains. This is your working chain, not considered a chain, but it's your working stitch. Down here, these are all your chains. They look like little V's. And at the very end is your slip knot. I do this all the time if I remember, for the new crocheters that are out there. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go in the second chain from the hook. Hook, 1, 2. And we're going to go in that second chain and we're going to put a single crochet. So for those of you that are new to crochet, you go into that chain, you pull up that loop, you yarn over, you pull this through there, and that's your single crochet. And again, you go into that chain, you pull up a loop, you yarn over, you pull this through these 2 chains, or should I say 2 loops. And we're going to do this all the way across. You're going to make a single crochet in every stitch across, and you will end up with 31 single crochets. You want to make sure that you have 31 single crochets, otherwise this will not work. Just to let you know. And you can make scarves with this. You can make shawls with this. You can make an Afghan with this, a baby blanket with this. You can make blocks with this. So whatever you want to make, you could make a little Afghan just for the foot of your bed, just to keep you warm, your feet warm. So there's a lot of things that you can do with this. You can make a vest with this stitch, a sweater, and the list goes on. So again, we're going to, and this is block number 23, and it is the Crossed Treble crochet block. And you'll see why that is once we get this going. This will be a 1 row repeat once you get past the first row. You'll do that row over and over again until you repeat, until you have 12 rows. Just and always make sure you get that last stitch. And this is what it looks like right across. I just want to show you and remind you that you have to have 31 single crochets after you chain 32. So again, after you are finished with your single crochets, you will have 31 single crochets. Now what you're going to do is you're going to chain 1, chain 2, and chain 3. This is going to be considered a double crochet. Now I want to let you know that you're going to be doing, and as we go forward you'll see, but you're going to be doing again the same row over and over till you get to the end. At the end of this square, or whatever it is you're going to make with this, you always want to end with the last row of single crochets. So once you chain 3, you're going to turn your work. This is considered your first stitch, so you're not going to go into this stitch. What you're going to do is you chain 3, and then you're going to skip 1, 2 stitches, not the first one because that is a stitch. You're going to skip this one and this one, and in the next one you're going to do a treble crochet. So what you're going to do is skip, and then you're going to yarn over, and you'll have 3 on your hook. As I said, you're going to skip 1, 2, and you're going to go into this stitch, and you're going to pull up a loop. You're going to yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Then the stitch right next to it, you're going to do another treble. So you're going to yarn over so that you have 3 on your hook. You'll loop, and then you yarn over twice. You're going to go into the next stitch and pull up that loop. You're going to yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. Now this is where it gets interesting, and the beauty of this stitch is where we're going to go next. So now what you're going to do is you're going to yarn over and yarn over like you did and make 2 more treble crochets, but you're not going to go here. you're going to go into the 2 stitches that you skipped, and this is where they cross over. Your treble crochets cross over these stitches. So what you're going to do is you're going to go into this first stitch first that we skipped. You're going to go from the front and you're going to pull up a loop. You're going to yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. So now you're going to yarn over, and we're going to go into the stitch next to that stitch, so the second stitch that we skipped, and we're going to go in there, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So now what you're going to do is you're going to go and you're going to skip this stitch, because you want to know that you're not going to go where you, so you're not really, you are going to skip, but you want to make sure that you don't go where there's been a treble made. You want to go in this next stitch, and you're going to make a double crochet in this next stitch right here. Okay, so I want to make sure you can see that, and you're going to make a double crochet. So see, that's where your last stitch was from the one before. Once you make that double crochet, you're going to skip 1, skip 2, and in here you're going to make a treble crochet. So we're going to go in that stitch, and I want to just make sure, skip, skip, treble crochet. And once again, a treble crochet in the next stitch next to that treble. And you always want to make sure that you pull up enough of that loop so that they're evenly made. So now what's going to happen is you're going to yarn over and yarn over. You're going to go into that first skipped stitch, and you're going to make a treble crochet right in there. What we're doing is we're crossing the 2 that we just made. So this is your crossed treble crochet. So now we're going to go into the next one that we skipped, and we're going to make another treble crochet in the one that we skipped. And that's why you're doing a crossover. See how pretty that is? It crossed over the 2 that you made. So now in that next stitch, and again, you want to see, you're not going to go in there because that's where there's a treble. You're going to go in the next one, and you're going to make a double crochet. So you're going to make sure that you always make sure you skip that, because there's already a stitch in there. Once you make your double crochet in that next stitch, you're going to skip, skip, and in this next stitch, you're going to make a treble crochet. This is truly like a beautiful stitch. So in other words, now we know we're going to make another treble in that next stitch next to that treble that we just made. Now we're going to get ready to make a treble in that first, space that we skipped. That first one that we skipped, we're going to make a treble right in there. We're going to cross from the front, not the back, the front. And we're going to make a treble in the first stitch that we skipped. Now we're going to make another treble in the one next to it, because we skipped 2, and we're going to make a second treble. Those 2 trebles cross that treble. So we're doing this, and they cross each other. So now we want to make sure we don't go in there because there's a treble in there. We're going to go in the next stitch and we're going to make a double crochet. Skip, skip, and right here we're going to make a treble. And you want to make sure that you extend this long enough when you pull up that loop so that they're the same length. Again, we're going to make a treble right next to that treble. And there we go. So now we have our 2 skipped stitch, one here and one here, 2 skipped stitches. We don't want to go in here because there's a double there. We're going to go into that first one and we're going to make our crossed treble crochet over those 2 treble crochets. Now we're going to make another treble crochet next to the one that we skipped because we skipped 2 stitches. And this is what it looks like thus far, right there. So now in the next stitch, this is where we have our trebles. We have one there, but in that next one where there's nothing, we're going to put a double crochet. We always want to make sure, and there it is. You have your trebles, 4 trebles, your cross treble, and your 2 trebles here, 2 trebles there. You will always have a double crochet in between those. So now again, we're skipping. We're not going into this where this double is. We're going skip, skip, and in here, we're going to put a treble crochet. In the next one, we're going to put another treble crochet. I go slow, you can follow along, you can write it down, whatever makes you comfortable. Now we're going to go into that first skipped stitch, because we have 2 here, and make a treble, and we're going to cross this across these 2. And we're going to go in there, we're going to pull it up, and we're going to make a treble crochet. Now we're going to do it again because we want to go into that other one that we skipped, and we're going to make, and I want you to see, we're going to make a treble crochet next to the treble that we skipped. Right here. Now I'm going to skip right here because there's a treble there. So you don't want to go in there. You want to make sure you're not going where there's already treble. And you're going to make a double crochet in that stitch. Now you're going to skip, skip, and in here we're going to make a treble. And we're getting to the end. In the next stitch, we're going to make a treble. Nothing changes even though we're coming to an end. Then we're going to do our treble in that first skipped stitch next to that double crochet. Then we're going to make another treble in that skipped stitch that we skipped to make that next to that other treble, because we skipped 2 stitches. So we're going to put another treble there. And now in this very last stitch, because here's the end of the treble from this set, we're going to make in this last stitch a double crochet. This is an easy stitch once you get the hang of it. And here it is right here. And like I said, it has a real nice texture to it. So this is what we just made. So now we're going to chain 1, chain 2, and chain 3. Now I want to mention that you want to make this stitch, you want to make this over and over again until you get your square finished, if you're making a square. So what you want to do is you want to do that over and over again until you have 12 rows of this. When you have 12 rows of these, and you can count them, and you can use either, you know, count them by paper, or you can use one of these counters, and you can count the rows that way. But you want to make 12 of these rows, because the 13th row will be your single crochet, so that they're even on both ends. So once you chain 3, you're going to turn your work around. Now remember, this chain 3 is a double crochet and it is a stitch, but we don't count that when we're skipping because it is a stitch. So now we're going to skip, and I want to just pull that out. We're going to skip 2 stitches. So we're going to skip this stitch and this stitch. And this is what we're going to do over and over again. And you're going to have 12 rows of this stitch, and then your single crochet will be your 13th row. So skip, skip, and right in here make a treble crochet. Right next to that stitch where you went here, in the next stitch you're going to make a treble crochet. I want to let you know, this is so your eye can see this, so when you do this over and over again, you'll automatically know that you go into this one after you skip 2, make a treble in this next stitch, and there's your double crochet. That's where your double crochet is going to go over and over again. So if you can visualize this over and over again, and you will, you'll know where you're going. So we're going to make a treble crochet right here. Then we're going to do another treble, and we're going to go in this first stitch that we skipped, and we're going to make our cross treble crochet. And now we're going to make another cross treble crochet in the other stitch that we skipped. So that's what we're going to do next. In that other skipped stitch, we're going to make our second crossed treble. And there it is. And then you see how you see the 4 treble crochets, but this one's crossed over. So now there's a treble right there. You're going to know from here on in that in here you're going to make your double crochet, and you're going to do this over and over until you have 12 of these rows, and you're going to count 1, 2, because now we have 2, but this is just think of this as your repeat, because this is where we started. But you're going to have 12 of these rows. 1, 2, you have 10 more to go after this row. So now again, skip, skip, and in this next stitch you're going to do a treble crochet, and in the stitch next to that, a treble crochet. Now we're going to do 2 cross treble crochets. We're going to cross them right across here. So we're going to go here and make our first treble, and we're going to go right from the front, and I'm going to show you again. And you'll see that your first treble is going to go right next to this double crochet, so that you'll know right away, and that the next treble will go right next to this one. So let me just do that, and I wanted to show you. So we're going to go right here and make our treble for this set. And then we're going to make our next treble, and that's going to go right in this next stitch. See where we made our treble here? It's going to go in this next stitch. So I want to be able to show you, because what you're going to see, you can tell that that first treble went right in here. Your second treble goes right in here. So now we know there's a treble there. We have to make a double crochet, but we know we just make it right above this double crochet. So you're going to make a double crochet above this double crochet. Now we've got to skip, skip, and we're going to be using those afterwards. We're going to make a treble right here. And we're going to make a treble right next to that. And then we're going to make a treble in this first one that we skipped, which will be right next to this double crochet. And we're going to go right in there and make a cross treble. And I just want to show you again. Right here, go right in here, pull that up. And you're going to go through two. You're going to go through two, and you're going to go through two, because you're going to yarn over. Now, this is where you've made that treble for this set. See where it is? So you know you're going right into the next one to make your next one. See it? Right in here. Now, you know there's one there. You're not going to go there. You know you're going to make a double crochet above this double crochet. Here's what it looks like. So now we're going to make our next treble. Skip, skip. We're going to use those at the end when we cross over. We're going to go in here, and we're going to make a treble crochet. We're going to go in the next stitch and make right in here a treble crochet. So right in here. I go slow. I take my time. I like to do these visually so you can see where I'm going. Now we're going to do our cross. So there's our double crochet here. We're not going to go here. We're going to go into this next stitch. One's going to go there. One's going to go there. And these are going to be easier to see in these rows because of the way this is. So right in here, you're going to make your treble. It's going to be easier to see with these rows because it's just, you're going to be able to see it. So now, again, we did a treble here. You can see it, it's right in there in this next stitch over. We're going to do our next crossed treble. So now we know we're going to go into this double crochet from below and make a double crochet right above it, just to let you know. And here's how it looks. Isn't that pretty? So now once again, skip, skip, and right in here, we're going to make our first treble. And then in the next one, another treble. And now we're going to cross over those with our first treble in this one next to this double crochet. We're going to go in here and make a treble. And then we're going to go right next to that, so we see that that's right there. So there's a stitch right there, and we're going to put the next treble in that stitch right next to that. And that's our next crossed treble. And now, so again, you can see your 4 treble crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4. The back ones and the front ones that have crossed over those 2. So now in the next double crochet, you're going to make a double crochet. And don't miss this one as a double crochet. It's not. You have a, right in there, you have a treble crochet in there. You want to make sure that you go into the next stitch above that double crochet from below, over and over again, and put your double crochet. So now you're getting to the end. You're going to skip, skip. You're going to put a treble crochet right here. So again, you're getting to the end, but nothing changes. Skip, skip, treble crochet. And again, nothing changes. In the next stitch, a treble crochet. Don't think that there's not a stitch there. There is. Now you're going to start your next, you're going to finish this treble crochet, but you're going to start your next part of this, and you're going to go in that first skipped stitch next to the double crochet, and you're going to make your crossed treble crochet. Now you want to make sure you look good, because you can see there's that treble crochet, that crossed one, so you don't want to go in that stitch. You want to go in this next one and make the second crossed treble crochet. Now in this because there's a stitch there that's part of that crossed, that triple crochet. So you're going to go into this chain 3, and you're going to put a double crochet. So these are your crossed treble crochets. Right here, there's 2, and your treble crochets here. That's on the back of these 2 that have crossed over. Isn't that pretty? And you're going to have, if you're making the square, and I want to pull out a little bit, I just want to mention that you're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 treble crochets across. And then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 double crochets between each of these, and 2 at the end of double crochets. You always count these chain 3 as double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can see it on here as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So now once you do that, you're going to chain 3. And I'm going to have you see that you can count these. This is row 1. and this is row 2 of your crossed treble crochets. So again, once you do that, you're going to chain 3, and that does count as a double crochet. You're going to turn your work around, and you're going to start this process over and over again until you finish this block or until you finish the Afghan that you're going to make. You always know that this is a double crochet, that chain 3. You never go into this stitch. And what you're going to do, like you did in all the others, is you're going to skip, and this is going to be with all the rows, skip, skip, and in here you're going to make a treble crochet. In the next stitch from it, you're going to make a treble crochet. Then what you're going to do is you're going to go into that first double crochet, into that first stitch that you skipped, and you're going to make a treble crochet. And that's going to cross over those 2 treble crochets. And then what you're going to do next is you're going to see that you went into this stitch. Here's that first treble cross stitch. So right next to it, you're going to put another treble crochet in the next stitch, and that's one of the 2 stitches that you skipped. And then you're going to see that you have a treble here. What you're going to do is go right above this double crochet from below and make a double crochet right in that stitch. And you're going to do this over and over again until you have 12 rows of this. And now you can count 1, 2, and 3. This is row 3. And then again, you're going to skip, skip, and right here you're going to put a treble crochet. You want to do 12 rows of these treble crochets, and then at the end you do 1 row of single crochets to end this block. And you're going to go right in here, and you're going to make your first crossed treble crochet. And you see where you went in there, so in the next stitch that you skipped, you're going to make your next treble crochet. And then again, right in there, you're going to make a double crochet right above the double crochet that you made from below. Skip, skip, treble crochet, next stitch, treble crochet. Next, you're going to make your 2 cross treble crochets in that first stitch that you skipped. In the next skip stitch, you're going to make another crossed treble crochet. And then in this next stitch, you're going to make a double crochet above the double crochet from below. Skip, skip, treble crochet, next stitch, over a treble crochet, right in that first skip stitch, a cross treble crochet, in this skipped stitch next to it, a crossed treble crochet. Above that double crochet, not here, there's your stitch from your, right here, you're going to put a double crochet above the double crochet that you made from below. Again, skip, skip, treble crochet, treble crochet next to it, treble crochet in the first skip stitch, treble crochet in the second skipped stitch, double crochet in the double crochet from below, skip, skip, treble crochet. Now we're getting to the end, treble crochet in this next stitch next to that, treble crochet in the skipped stitch, the first one. So I want to show you something. In that first stitch, you want to make a treble crochet, but you also want to make sure that you're making this long enough, like I said in the beginning, that you want to make sure your stitches match. So in the next spot where you skipped, and I want to just show you in that next spot, you're going to make right there your second crossed treble crochet, and then right here in that chain 3 space you're going to make a double crochet, and there it is. Isn't that pretty? Now I want to mention, and let me show you what we're going to do. Say this block or your Afghan is all finished. And isn't that pretty? And it is like mildly textured. I would say mildly. You're going to chain 1 and turn your work. In this first stitch, you're going to make a single crochet. And then what's going to happen, and again, we're going to make believe that this block is all done. You're going to make a single crochet in every stitch across. And this would be how you end your block, or you end your Afghan or your scarf. This would be how to end it, because you want to end it the way you began it. So you want to put a single crochet in every stitch across. And I just want to show you that, because I didn't want to just say at the end, just chain 1, turn your work, and make a single crochet. I wanted to actually show you how it's done and what that looks like, especially if you're new to crochet. I don't want to leave you, in the middle and say, okay, just make single crochets across and you're done. Which actually you're not done, but let's get through this and then I will. So what we're going to do is, if we had finished this block or Afghan, whatever it is you're making, make sure you pick up every stitch across, and in that chain 3 you put your last single crochet, And that's what it looks like. And see, you can see that this and this, they're the same. And that's how you would finish your block, to do that part of it. So that would be, once you put that single crochet across the top, that would actually be row 13, because row 12s are going to be, this is row 1, row 2, row 3. You're going to make 12 of these rows. 12 of, just think of it as 12 of the rows of the cross treble crochet. 12 of those rows, and you end it with a single crochet at the end. Once you're done with that single crochet, what you're going to do is now you're going to add your border. And the border is the same for every one of these squares. And I'm just going to fold this like this. You're going to put 3 single crochets in each corner of the block if you're making a block. In the middle of the block, you will make 25 single crochets, 25 on the top, bottom, and sides, and in the corners again, 3 single crochets. This is how we do each block. In the tutorial that I did, the first tutorial of block 1, part 2, it shows you how to do this. And this is for every block that you make of these blocks. Especially if you're doing all of them or some of them, that would be how you end it. So say this block was done, then you would chain 1 and you would go in the corner and make single crochets. And you'd make 1, 2, and 3. And then after you do that, you would go up the sides and make 25 single crochets until you get to the next corner, and then you would make 3 more. And that's how you would finish the blocks. So this is block number 23, the crossed treble crochet block. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial of this block. Thank you for being here. Hope you have a great day, a great evening, and I love you all. This is Maria from Crochet A to Z. Bye-bye.